Hey everybody, welcome to Your Unpaid Therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Your Unpaid Therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it.
I'm Valerie Milagros Ortiz.
I don't know. I am your host, Alicona. She's away. Bradford.
This is Your Unpaid Therapist. Shoo-wah, cha-cha.
It's another episode of Your Unpaid Therapist. We are getting close to the end of the year, y'all, and we are talking about taking care of business affairs, working with your lovers, your friends, your close colleagues, all the things, the benefits, the bad parts. Of course, here you can see my lovely new co-host. What is your name, sir?
Oh, me.
Lean into the mic.
I am David, the other half.
And of course, you know my girl, Alicona.
Hey! Hi guys.
You guys should be watching this video because you just missed. I'm not even going to say it. Go to YouTube. Find us.
Some flexibility.
I love it. So
right.
y'all know, before we get into the episode, we do a song of the day, song of the week, whatever you've been kind of like feeling. Do you want to start it off, Alicona?
Yes, while the two cheaters wait, because they picked one song together, which is not fair at all. But I digress.
The duet.
Okay, so this is what I've learned about myself. When I try to read the lyrics to do the song, I fuck it up. If I sing it the way I think the lyrics are, even though they're terribly wrong, at least I get my point across. So we're going with bad lyrics, but you'll get the point. Okay, hold on. Let me think. How does this start? I was just singing it on my walk. Oh my God. Oh, please. Oh, now I know y'all loving this shit right here. LIMP biscuit right here. So if you don't care, then we don't care. So shut the fuck up. Well, you back the fuck up. Well, I fuck this track up. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. That's my song.
I was not expecting Limp Bizkit.
Please explain to our listeners why you chose this song.
So for multiple reasons. One, I started writing this script that I've been putting off because it's been an idea in my head. And once I start writing something, I don't put it down unless I absolutely have to, which I did because it was Thanksgiving, whatever. But I'm like rolling, I just keep going. And it is a film that involves motorsports. So I had written a montage and I was like, ooh, this would be such a good song. So now I was singing it a lot. Then we're talking about working with people. What is my hand doing? I don't know. Okay. We're talking about working with people that we love, da-da-da. And sometimes it doesn't work out so well. You got to keep on rolling. So that's why.
Yes. Okay, well, we are all right in theme. Let's get ready for our song. All right.
It's just like hers.
Yes.
It's going to be like Elton John or something.
It's like the same song.
Oh, see,
Okay.
y'all are cheating, though. So they'll be using the music
I
alongside.
always look at the lyrics, girl. That
I
is
know.
not new.
I know.
Stop hating over there. Okay. All right. And I've been taking care of business.
Every day,
Taking care of business.
every way.
I've been taking care of business.
It's all mine
Taking care of business.
and working overtime.
Woo!
Yay! Nice synchronization, guys. Teamwork.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Yeah.
So, very much like yours, Alicona, and per what the episode is about, David and I have been so just cranking some stuff away that we've been working on that will be launched. Christmas Day really is when we're going to launch.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hey, but yeah, I'm leaving town soon, very soon. And we got to take care of business in
Every day.
every way, all the time, and every day. Way. Yeah.
We're rolling.
Rolling.
All right, so let's get into it. So, obviously we're both working with different people, different projects. Obviously, you and I work together. You've worked in written scripts with a mutual friend and other people. And so it's something super common, especially in the entertainment industry, to start projects, do projects together. And you always hear the quote, or people say, never mix business and pleasure, or you never do business with your family. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Yes, yes, and yes. Ooh, it's hard. It is honestly hard because a lot of times you don't know somebody till you know somebody, and you don't know somebody till you either work with them or you live with them, and that's when you're like, oh God.
Mhm.
So, have I had partnerships work out? Yes. Have I had them go down in flames? Yes. Has it ended friendships? Sort of. Living with people?
Ooh.
Absolutely. That was a vague response, but what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that well, this venture, this has been fun. I feel like because we work really good together. And as you know, Alikona, even with our relationship, like and we've talked about this on the podcast, I get overwhelmed easily. Give me too many tasks at one time. And I'm just like, it's like you might as well hit pause. Correct. 100%. Seriously, it's like, like malfunction.
No mas.
Yeah, for sure. So I think what's important is when you're working with people and knowing them, knowing what they're good at, knowing the things that they need extra help on or whatever. So David, very much like Alikona, they know me so well. So David knows how to just motivate me when I need motivating, and just let me be and give me space when I need the space. And then just
Ebbs and flows. Depressurize certain situations. Yeah, we're a good balance. If you feel overwhelmed, I'm able to
pick up the slack.
Yeah, or juggle and say, "Oh, we're fine. Let's focus on this. We don't have to worry about that now." I've enjoyed working with you and everything that we've done. I think because you okay?
I'm good.
I think that we know how to talk to each other. I think that's the first one, communication. You have to know how to talk to each other. So you could have your relationship and then have a business venture or work together, and then you just turn into work mode and forget that you're a partner, right? And then you start talking crazy. So I think I just maintain the same level of how I talk to you, which is lovingly and supportive and positive, but constructive. I mean, you can attest. Like,
I was just going to chime in because yes, and he's right. I think the hardest part is like I'm just going to keep it real. Like monthly, we get our menstrual cycle, and like you're just feeling extra tired that day. And for women, especially just in life, our hormones keep just change our daily, and so that's tough because again, that's even something that like he wouldn't obviously be able to control. I can't control it. It is what it is. But so yes, I'm the one who's changing, right? The mood or the intensity or the focus, because that day I'm just like but he definitely knows how to like manage, like, okay, yeah, I see she's struggling, but he doesn't make me feel bad about it and just like keeps it going.
Right.
What were you going to say earlier?
Well, no, because I was going to ask. I mean, well, first of all, because David, you're like, some people forget that they're in a relationship and they just talk each other crazy. But for me, I'm like, if it was a work relationship with another work person that I was an affiliate, I wouldn't talk crazy because it's a business person. Right. Not that you, David, would, but I'm just saying. So I thought that was interesting. But more so, what I really want to make sure we hit today, like, because I'm curious. Haven't you guys ever had a really good friend that you guys had an idea together and you're like, this is dope, we should do this. And you start doing it, not realizing how excited you are about it, but maybe they're not. Or you were the kid in class when you'd have those like group science projects and no one seemed to be doing it right. So you just took over and did everything. That goes into adulthood as well too. So all that to say, like, have you ever entered a project with somebody where you're like, what the fuck? And then how do I get out of this or not?
I think I've been lucky. I think anything that I've done, we've had equal energy and gave that in the project. Luckily, I didn't have a situation where I got let down or I had to do, like you alluded to, doing more of the work. And then you're like, wait, you're supposed to be, thought we were cool, thought we were all in this. What's happening? I don't know. You tell me. Let me ask a question about men versus women. I feel like,
and you've worked with both. Actually, this is
that's
good.
One. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about like working with other guys. Like I always can keep it real and be unapologetic about it. And guys, I feel like can just roll with it more. I'm like, you're slacking. Like I'm not doing this all. You like, and I can say that, and we're still good, even away from the project. Where I'm like, you're killing me. Like you got, and I feel like if girls did that, it might go a little differently.
Yeah. So I've worked with a woman who had definitely talked to me like that. I'll talk about that in a second. But the difference between working with men and women, for me personally, is men will listen to each other when they're friends. Like you said, you can be like, bro, you're slacking. Okay, man. Whereas a woman sometimes will approach things more delicately because we're trying to be polite and considerate of someone's feelings. So we'll start off with like, hey, David, I really appreciate that you've been doing X, Y, and Z, but I feel like it could kind of be a little bit better. Can we do da-da-da? And I don't know if it's our approach or what, but I feel like men don't listen to women as much. Like we're not to bring like the patriarchy up because I always do, but I think we're in a world and a society where we think men are smarter or they're always right. So we take their word for it, and women maybe not as much. So when a woman tries to point out that a guy is wrong, the first thing the guy does is gets a little defensive because it's like, and then questions.
I think it might depend on what the business venture is, or what we're actually building.
Why?
I think that if we're talking, for example, if we're talking about something that would be more in a guy's wheelhouse, I don't have an example.
Okay, I was like, you shouldn't. Don't you have an example? I know. Because if you start saying like some car shit, I'm gonna be like,
no. First of all, I'm not. No, come on. David's smart.
Yeah.
And I don't think that. Yeah. I'm just saying something that I can't think of anything offhand.
Yeah.
I think it's, or actually it's relative to that person's experience. So if I know Valerie and I'm like saying certain things, it's not, I feel like I know better because I'm a man. It's like, well, because I've been doing this and you're new to it. And so I wouldn't maybe, or vice versa. If I'm like, if we disagree, I'm going to go, she does this. She lives with this. She has, if we're talking about cycles or we're talking about Puerto Rico and what do I know? Like if I just vacation there once and
I'll even say it to just acting too. Like we've helped each other with auditions and things like that. And so even with that, like with certain things, if I have to take photos, he helps me with poses and like what I should wear, what accentuates my body, what colors will look good. That's his wheelhouse. When it comes to like slates or different commercial auditions, I'm like, okay, try it again. Maybe you say this, and he goes with it because he knows like that's my wheelhouse. That's my strength. I've done it longer. So I feel like that's a good example for us both, where we kind of let the other person really just like we hear them because of the experience. But I will say, okay, with that, and going to what you just said, Alicona, the car thing. Sure, somebody in general, no matter what, because society and life, there's going to be generalities. Is that right? Is that a word? Where if it's a man versus woman, like somebody might just naturally be like, oh yeah, we'll let the dude handle that part because of their strength, or yeah, definitely somebody like you who is super strong and active will roll their eyes on something like that. But or we're gonna let them handle the pretty woman handle our corporate clients, because just naturally with life, pretty women get away with things. So when it comes to business, whether it's right or wrong, sometimes certain decisions need to be made because of what the goal is. And unfortunately, like those gender rules and norms and stuff like that, it is what it is.
Right.
So let's go into the friends thing. So you've worked with both male and females. So you didn't get into was there one that was easier?
No. I mean, to piggyback what I had just said, because I've had that instance where, like I said, I've had like my opinion not valued as much not because of lack of experience. But I've also currently like work with somebody who is my equal, who, like David said, it just depends on your relationship with that person. Like we have a good relationship. We have an honest relationship. We know how to constructively criticize each other without insulting each other. But I have had a relationship with somebody who I initially met and I knew them for quite some time, and they were very sweet. Didn't have a close relationship with them, but just, so sweet you'll vomit. And then when it came to working together, I was like, oh shit. Like this person is verbally abusive and nasty. And are they drinking? Are they bipolar? Like what is happening? Like it was like someone punched me in the face and I didn't even know how to react because I just was not expecting to be talked to the way I was talked to, yelled at the way I was yelled at. It got to a point where, Val, you and I used to talk about this, like, and this person was more experienced than I was in that particular field. And this person had the connection to the higher ups and I didn't. They were like the gatekeeper between me and the person that was hiring and paying me. So I just had to listen. But I started to, and I was contracted to work with this person in this company, but it got to a point where I was waking up and I was either crying or my stomach was upset. And I'm like, I've never had anxiety before in my life. And I think I have anxiety right now. And so I toughed that one out for probably a good year, got contracted to do another project and was like,
it's a long time.
Nope. Like my mental health is more important to me. And that person got very mad at me. They threatened to not pay me. And it wasn't even their position to not pay me because they weren't the company. But I was like, okay, whatever. Just a lot of nasty stuff got said. And then time went by. They turned around and asked me to work with them again. I said no. And then, I don't know, time went by again and then we're cool. Like, we don't talk about it. I still help them with stuff.
You're still friends?
We're not really friends. They hire me for work. I know that sounds weird. And it's a totally different genre of work. It's not.
So let me ask you a question. If they didn't hire you or have the potential to hire you, would you still be friends with them?
No. No reason to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. And same thing. I've had friends, like we talked about it a little bit, but I've had friends that were like this. I'm crossing my fingers if you're listening. Best friends, lived together, and money got involved unintentionally. Money got involved. I bought something thinking I was going to get paid back because I was told it was a very large amount of money. And just excuse after excuse, never got the money. It was over a year went by. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to be petty and lose a friend. But at the same time, that's fucked up. Yeah. I moved and this person would not pay me back because they thought if they held on to my money, I would keep calling him. Therefore, they could still have me in their life. And that backfired. But point is like, you can think you really, really know somebody, like the ins and outs, the everything about somebody. And then you live with them. Whoa.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that living together part. I want to, Alicona, I want to hear about, you said, that living together, like something happened. There's a story here of someone you lived with, and what were they? Were they messy? Did they smell? Like what did they do? Were they loud in all ways? Like what was it?
Mm-mm. No, there's two people I ended friendships with because of living with them. One was just a girl who got a pet and then got a boyfriend and decided the pet was my responsibility. And I love animals, but that pet like would diarrhea in my laundry, in my shoes. And when I called the girl, I was like, your cat like straight up like diarrheaed in my very expensive shoe. And she laughed. I'm like, yo, that's not funny. You gonna buy me a new shoe?
Those are fighting words.
Right? And she's like, no, I can't afford it. And then she couldn't afford to feed her cat and she wouldn't come home. And I'm like, you can afford an 89-cent can of like Friskies. Come on. It's like
that cat is missing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I made her give the cat away.
I don't know what happened to it. I don't have
No, but that happened.
And stuff like that happens with businesses as far as like, or, when you're working with somebody, like somebody, one person has a job that's kind of been agreed upon, and then maybe they stop doing it, or they walk away. Because I want to bring it back to working with people and the pros and cons of it, and
right. But here's the thing, Valerie, the complexity of that is, let's say that you and I start a business together and we both invest money in it. Let's say we both invest like 40 grand into this business, 100 grand into this business. And as we start working, suddenly I realize I'm doing all the work and you're going out just doing whatever. You don't care as much because you're a millionaire. So 40K means not a lot to you, but it means everything to me. Then what? Then how do you figure that shit out?
You call a meeting.
Okay. And then
you have an honest conversation.
And if it doesn't fix things, like, you're stuck because your money is involved.
No, you're not stuck. I mean, I feel like, especially when you're starting something like that and money is involved, there should be contract signed, and there should be a clause in there. You know, there's something, trial period. There should be something that if either party is not happy, just like with our like talent representations, you can do a letter and 30 days you have an out. You know, always with money. Like if you don't have a contract, you're and I don't care if it's your mom, I don't care if it's your brother, I don't care if it's your bestie, your lover, like it's again back to you think you know someone. You really don't, especially when it comes to money or deaths. You know, I think death and in families, that breaks up a lot of like family businesses. You know, there's 3 partners, one of the partner dies, that was the brother, that brother was closer to the other brother, you know, it all always hits too close to home and too close to the heart. So I feel like things need to be legalized.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting you say that. 2 things. One, it's always interesting to me when people get in fights over somebody passes away, this person gets left this in the will, this person gets left, and then people are like fighting over the assets of the person that died. Like that blows my mind. Yeah. What?
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate because yes, and
okay.
Because I know people in my family who that has happened to, and it's not, because you kind of have to take the person obviously who passed away, and it's just very specific to each situation. But I can see how you know, feelings would get hurt. Or back to what you said, Alikona, like let's say somebody has been living in a house or taking care of some parents, and then everybody, you know, that person technically has been doing more of the work. Y'all left the house for, you know, 2 decades. Like I've been here, like taking them to the appointments and, you know, mowing the lawn. I don't know, I'm making stuff up. But I could see how that one, you know, child who lost their parent is going to feel a little like, wait, I've been here, y'all been gone. I should get the family business.
But if it wasn't written out like that by the parent, then that's what it is. And is it fair? No. But that was up to the parents in the first place. And if they didn't do it, they divide it equally. Obviously, if 2 are estranged and 2 are in the life, well, the parents didn't set it up like that. And so that was their decision. So you can get mad at your parent who passed, or that's why they do those things.
Right. So that's the point. Again, people didn't make things legal. And so if there is no specific power of attorney in place or assets divided equally between children, there are laws already put out there that tells you will be any of these living children naturally or legally, not naturally, legally get this amount, and it does have to be divided in equal parts. So again, maybe they had this conversation or not, but then it just is what it is because of what the law is. So make them what are they called?
Do a trust, do a will, do all of things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's crazy. Just like one quick personal story is, you guys know, because I talked about it on the podcast months and months ago, I had an uncle that passed away, and he and his ex-wife, who had passed away also, left all their assets, like all of their assets, to their grandson, who is on the spectrum. And they wanted it so that it could take care of him for the rest of his life. And they're worth like millions and millions. But in that, he left nothing to anybody else. And when he was sick and dying, his eldest brother took care of him, or younger brother took care of him. Younger brother didn't have enough money to put him in hospice and was like, Phil, my uncle Phil, you have like literally has millions of dollars. I need access to the money so I can put you somewhere nice. Like you're rotting away in this hotel room. And the woman who's the mother of that son, the autistic son, wouldn't help at all. She knew money was coming to her. She knew houses were coming to her and would not use any of that money to help the dying guy. And I'm like, what? But why? And that's my uncle's logic. He chose to do it. He's listening and probably cursing at me. I don't know. But like when shit like that happens, I'm like, huh. And you got the money. Okay. Cool.
Life's not fair.
No. Anyways. Bringing it back. So what
kind of advice, would you give having worked with friends or even like really close colleagues? Wait, have you ever worked with a boyfriend?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. When we were, you've worked with him too. We all collaborated. We started working on this project together.
Okay. I didn't know if it was projects. This one. Okay.
Yeah. This project and other projects. I've worked on films and other stuff. And this person is so super talented. And that's another one of those, like we moved in together and it was great, but I got to see the work ethic and was like, oh, it's a little different from when I used to come over and visit and you were always working. But now that I live with you, I realize like that's actually not the case. Like you always watch TV. Oh, okay. Whatever. Like still love you. But because I was the girlfriend asking for a project to like move along, it's like my stuff got put off to the side. Oh, I'll do it later. Oh, I'm going to work on it. Oh, I already put an hour in today. An hour? I put in like 8, 12. What? And it's difficult because you live with that person and you're in a relationship with that person that, I mean, I don't want to end the night in a fight. I don't want to not talk to you for a week and I'm not paying you. So you could be like, fuck your project, which would be shitty of a boyfriend to do. But in general, just saying like that was frustrating. Yeah, like when and in life and in a relationship in general, right? So if you start dating if you're dating somebody and they're not motivated and you are, that's another one of those things in a relationship that you find out when you live with them and can be very difficult to deal with because it's not your job to motivate your partner, but at the same time you might try and they probably won't, and that creates turmoil as well to me. So I guess the solution to that would be like really investigate a lot, I think, before you get seriously involved with anybody, be it moving in or relation or whatever, and really take note of their habits in life and in general and their priorities.
Yeah. And again, and if it is like an official business, make sure you have everything in writing, obviously, when it comes to money, when money is involved. Also, expectations. I think that is a really big one in any aspect of life, any relationship, any kind of doing, really just anything. Being in a relationship, starting in a business, birthdays, whatever. Like just knowing your expectations of each other, of where the business is going, the trajectory of like the goal of like, in a year, where do you want to be? Okay, where do I want to be? Because that alone could be very different and could be why one person's just like
on the couch,
right? And why the other person's just like putting in hours. So definitely have that conversation. I'd say often, because I think life happens too and things change for people. So now the person that was maybe hyped in the beginning is like, shit, now I have to take care of my sick mom. Like I don't have as much time anymore. You know, it just so much things can happen. So I think all of those very clear cut, specific conversations need to happen.
Yeah. I think also too, like as we get older and we evolve, like what we want changes because we evolve as people in personal growth. But David, I want to ask you, because I just want to take it back to the question that you had asked me, which was you asked me about like, you know, when you found out like that person smelled or blah, 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 whatever. Have you ever entered, whether it be a business relationship or a committed relationship, where you got involved and then was like, oh, she got some nasty habits, or this person?
It's a good question. I have done a few things. I think for the most part, like I said, I haven't had any bad experiences. Like everybody that I did do some sort of venture with gave the same energy. They were all in. And as far as I'm concerned, they didn't have a choice, because I wouldn't have let them, because I wouldn't have stopped. Right. Like if I feel like, I mean, I'm very like kind-hearted. So if you're sick, or if I'm doing a little more, like, that's okay. I've been a team player my whole life. Right. I'm not going to carry the business for a long time. I can do it for a little bit. Right. And then maybe I have to step away and do something, and then you have to handle things. But I've never had something where somebody just completely didn't perform. And if I ever saw, like, I mean, at times I've been like, hey, we gotta pick it up. Like, I know you're doing this, but we gotta. And so I feel like I've done a lot of coaching. So I feel like I know how to talk to people. Everyone's different. Every client's different. Every business partner's different. Some respond to certain motivation. Some people are very sensitive. And so, you know, you can't say, like how I said before, like, you're slacking. Like, we need to, sometimes that's not received well at all.
Yeah.
So it depends on the person.
So then two things then. I would love to hear about a time where it didn't work out that well, because that's me just stirring up shit. But moving in with somebody, be it a homie or a girl,
Yeah.
and have you ever had that situation where then you were like, oh, dear?
I did have a girl move in once, and it was a mistake from that second week. I was like, uh-oh. What did I do? I was young.
Okay.
No, just like, this is not what I thought. Like, she doesn't really do anything. She's just at the house. And there was you know, lots of conversations before about being a go-getter and, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this, you're doing that. Cool. We could go do this. And then it was not that.
Baker.
The baker. Yeah, she would just bake, and then she ate what she baked. That was pretty much it. That summed it up. I was like, we are not on the same page. I have a love for fitness.
Yeah. See, okay, here's the thing. I know this is a weird, it's not an analogy, but doesn't matter. School of thought. There we go. And I've heard this from other people too. But I feel like people who work out and have a regimen, and I'm not talking about what your body looks like. I'm just saying people who have a regimen, who work out, who stick to it, who make that important and make sure it's a part of their schedule every single week. Those people tend to be very committed, meaning they're able to commit to other things in life and to follow through in life. Does that make sense?
Amen. Absolutely. I agree.
Okay. We actually had that conversation when we were dating, just because it's discipline, right? So a lot of people, and I'm happy that you mentioned that it doesn't matter what your body looks like, because that's key. Like, it's not about the results of it. It's just about the commitment and the discipline that you have on doing something that not always you have the motivation to do, something that isn't always fun, something that takes a lot of time to see results. So if you don't have that tenacity and that patience, and that self-motivation, it won't, if you already don't have that for yourself, it's not going to bleed into other things, because you're not doing it for you. So you sure as hell not doing it for anybody else. So it was a big thing when dating, actually, because I feel like that was like a huge thing of like-minded folks. For us, obviously, the similarity and passion was fitness, but meeting people that isn't, because of how it, like you mentioned, Alikona, it bleeds into other places in your life. It is a very stark, drastic, like highlighter thing of just like, oh, like you clearly see like, oh, we're not built from the same cloth.
No.
And when you are, it's refreshing. It is just the light of my life.
Oh, you know what's crazy? Okay, so on topic, off topic, but we obviously, maybe not obviously, but often our friends reflect who we are. You hang out with birds of a feather, right? Because you share the same interests, same goals, dreams. For the most part, it's good to have variety, but in general. And so you're used to this. I am used to Valerie Ortiz. I'm used to Matt Marr. You know, when I'm around David, like I know you're part of Val and you have the similar what is it? Morale, right? So I'm used to that. We are all people who, and I'm not like patting us on the back and saying we're elite people, but
I am.
Oh, go ahead. But I'm just saying we work hard, we have goals, we have dreams, we have priorities, yada, 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 yada. And you think that that's the norm. But when you step out of your world and you step into another world, be it because you work with somebody who's awesome and you go hang out with them and their friends or their colleagues and you see how drastically differently they live their lives. And you're like, well, oh shit. So wait. And I guess I am patting myself on the back, but when my friend said that I'm a catch, or when my friend said that, gosh, you work so hard and da-da-da, and I thought I was average, but now I look at like different groups of people, I'm like, huh, like maybe I am. And I just didn't realize it. Or maybe I didn't realize how rare it is to be caring. So let's take it away from work ethic. It's so rare to find people that are empathetic, compassionate, and caring. Doesn't seem like it would be that rare because I surround myself with them.
That came from something, right? So
yeah,
give me an example of that, or like have you lived that?
Yes. So I'm in my LA world. I get taken out of my LA world almost every weekend when I work, right? So I go to different parts of the United States, not right now, but different parts of the United States, different countries, and I'm around different types of people. Blue collar people. I've been blue collar, whatever. I'm not wearing a collar. But I will be
like you were concerned.
I know, whatever. But it's like
not blue.
Yeah. but in seeing some people's I'm trying really hard not to be rude, so I'm just going to be blunt. Seeing certain people's lack of motivation and laziness and have no goal in life to do anything more than be, you know, and I'm not putting anybody down because everybody has a role in this world, but some people are raised to not surpass a certain level of success, not to desire more, not to want more. It's go to work, be happy, look forward to the weekend, and live my life 2 days out of the 7 days of a week, and that's it. And I'm okay with that, and that's good. You're happy.
So, they're content. That's contentment with where they are in life, right? So that has nothing. Well, look, for some people maybe, but because I know what you're trying to say and you're not trying to be mean, but some people in their space with their job, with their 9 to 5, with their, family of 5 or whatever, they're very content and they can do the same thing every single day. That's as far as they're not trying to be, a manager, CEO. They're happy. And like you said, there is nothing wrong with that, but that I can see how, especially for somebody like you, there's nothing about that would be attractive to Alikona because you are so motivated and so disciplined. And I don't know that actually, good question. Do you think you would ever be completely satisfied? Like, do you, with a career, with something, you had a goal, you attained it. Do you think you would ever, in your wildest dream of wildest dreams of all the things I know you want to do you think you'll get to a place where you're like, I'm good, I'm going to retire?
Retire, no, because the thing that I love, that I want to do, that I sometimes do, I enjoy so much. So retiring, nah, because it's not a job to me anymore. It's just fun. I get paid to do it. But as far as ever satisfied, this year is the first year I had moments of satisfaction, which we talked about on this podcast, where I was like, I'm okay. I don't have to like make it happen. But at the same time, will I ever stop? No. And I think I understand what you're saying though, right? Like, will you ever find satisfaction? Like, is there ever always going to be more? And I think because we grow as people, there will always be more. And it may not even be career. It may be, I told you, like, I'm going to buy out Tyson Foods and they're never ever going to kill a chicken or a turkey or a pig again because I'm going to turn their farmland into like rescue spaces. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be something that I'm going to find. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. With that kind of mindset, I couldn't see, and look, never say never, you with somebody who would just be complacent, or very, again, just content with the bare minimum.
Okay, I got you. How about this? Not even just from a career stance, I feel like we should always, and this is my own personal opinion, doesn't mean it's right. I think we should always be growing and evolving as people. I think that, yes, there's potential and you shouldn't fall in love with somebody's potential, right? But you should always be striving to better yourself. And some people don't think that's important. Like, I am who I am. Me, I'm like, no, I can get better. No, somewhere in there is trauma brain and she needs a little healing. Ooh, somewhere in there is somebody who could learn a new skill, a new language, a new something. Some people are not like that, I think, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think, again, it's back to going with what's easy, what's comfortable. I think pushing yourself to situations, places, even people that are not what you're used to, not what you're comfortable with, not how you grew up. I mean, that bleeds into religion, into politics. There's just so many different aspects. So that kind of person stays in that realm, right? With those same people and those same little cities, with those same jobs. And because like-minded people usually, you know, birds of a feather that you mentioned earlier, then that's not appealing, nor does it feel like it's missing from your life because everybody around you is doing the same thing, working at the same place, and everybody's happy and it's very routine. It's very I'm thinking of a word, generational, I feel like, too. Like it like bleeds to the next generation and they still all stay at the family farm and like, but this is what my mom did and her mom, and you know,
it's safe.
Yes.
And safe is comfortable for a lot of people who had, you know, crazy upbringings and drama. I think being content and safe is peaceful for people.
Yeah.
It can be. So
I love that you said safe, David, because maybe last year is when I realized that's a huge motivator for me. Like, safety, not as much control, but maybe control. Because when you're a kid and, like you said, you grow up in chaos, you don't have control of like what's going on around you, and you just want to feel safe. And so I've caught myself a few times having to tell myself and remind myself, I'm safe. I'm safe. Just to like soothe my nervous system. Anyways, off topic, but
what's interesting though, with you saying that, even though that is something that you seek and you need, it doesn't keep you from chasing what's not safe.
Yeah.
So that's still a really interesting personality trait where it's obviously something I think that we all need, but there is a tenacity. There's just something deeper in you that pushes through it.
It's courage. She's courageous for experiencing those things, and then still, you know, it's not like you work corporate America 9 to 5, have a guaranteed salary. You're doing courageous work, and so kudos to you.
Well, thanks. Never thought of it as courageous, but thank you.
It is. It very much is, because a lot of people just
you're betting on yourself.
No, a lot of people literally like they just ball up, you know, and they can't, and they're like, oh, you know, I grew up like this, and this is hard for me to do. I just can't do it. And you've done it. You're doing it, and so yeah, that's courageous for sure.
Which is weird because sometimes I feel like I have moments where I am doing that. And Val, I think you're great at betting on yourself a lot. And yeah, anyways, that's all.
Thank you. I don't know if I think, especially when it comes to this industry, and we've talked about manifestation a lot on the podcast. I feel like I did manifestations before I knew what manifestations were.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's worked for me in business, to get it back on topic, and any new venture, and even though I fall off, but I think I constantly see the success. So I remember moving to LA, like I just knew, like I knew I was good. I was here by myself. I was still 19. You know, I had some money saved up, lived cross country, like cried certain days, didn't know how to change the oil in a car. Obviously, you can just go to like a little shop. They'll do it for you, you guys. I remember a day like where my little light came on and I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I just, for whatever reason, there was this inner confidence. I don't know if that's, and I think about this often because I want kids, and I'm helping David raise his daughter. And it's something that's so important because I think of this now, even with Liv, like, what did my parents do to give me that kind of confidence to know, like, I've never done this. I don't have my safety net, right? Which is my family around me, but I am a 19-year-old across country. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm going to make it. Like, I'm going to be able to take care of myself for years, buy a house at 25. Like but I knew like it's going to work out. And even right now, like, as we all know, like times are slow. Auditions have been slow. We're doing this new business thing together. And I have moments where the doubt creeps in, and then I have like dreams, or, oh my God, Ali Kona knows. I've been seeing the 444, 555, like way before Hawaii, but like, and so I've just been having all these like confirmations of like, girl, you're good. Like, you've always been good. Like, it's fine. And then it's weird because then, of course, again, I'm going to say this again. I promise you, fear and doubt creeps in often. But for the most part, I think I just know that it's always been fine and it's always worked out. So why would it stop now?
Well, guys, it's 10 till. We got to start wrapping it up. But we always end things with a what if. So
I forgot to tell David this.
Oops. I was just going to say, David, I don't know if you know what this is. We'll let you go last. And you can't piggyback off of Val's because you did it with the song.
It was a duet.
It was really good, though. It was really good. Not going to lie. Okay. So what if is basically taking a situation that you might currently be thinking about or involved in, and instead of what ifing it the negative way, you what if it the most possible highest outcome. So instead of you have an audition tomorrow, David, and you're like, oh my God, like, what if I forget my lines? What if I'm late? What if I get a ticket? What if like all the negative shit? So spin it, right? So my what if is, because you guys know I was saying I just started working on this script, and I'll take 2 seconds to like pat myself on the back because I've only done it. This is like my 4th day filled with distractions. Normally I'm like, wake up, work out, do it, be done. But day 4, I'm on page 80 and my goal is to get to 100. So I know I'm going to get done by the end of this week. So what if I am able to get some people attached to this script that I know I want to get attached, that are in the motorsports area that Freddie has good connections to, that I'm like, okay, so what if we talk to these dudes? And they're like, hell yeah, I'll do it. And then what if, because these dudes are attached, I can get Zac Efron attached because he's into extreme sports, and he'll be like, oh my God, this guy's attached. I really want to do this. And then what if it becomes like a huge, massive success? And this is the weird, odd movie that actually puts me on the map that I never really thought would do so, because this movie was inspired by somebody I had an encounter with. Weird.
I love it.
I thought you were going to keep going with the Zac Efron thing. And what if one day at the rap party
he shows up naked? Woo!
No, stop.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So what if all the young girls that I represent book all their dream jobs and start working on as series regulars on amazing award-winning shows? What if I get that audition and job as well as number one on the call sheet, making it super specific, on another award-winning, decade-long on the air show? And what if this thing that David and I are both working on, what if that's the thing that people have been telling me for decades to do, that I just didn't have, it wasn't the right timing, or I didn't have the right partner to put it out there with, and now it just all, it blows up more in a way that like I could have never even imagined.
What if? Go ahead, David.
Well, I'm not going to piggyback on that as much as I wanted to. What if all of the buyers I'm working with now in the real estate world end up buying their homes and referring me to their multi-million-dollar friends? And next year, including, well, I wasn't going to piggyback, so that's why I didn't say Zach.
Oh,
but
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Zach and Zach's mama. and I end up selling $500 million of homes next year. And then that spins off into a show. And that show is the day in the life of David and Valerie and Liv, and all the things that I do on a daily basis. And all of our other ventures then take off, and we all have separate shows for all of our different ventures, and everybody is happy.
That's amazing. That is the one reality show that I would watch. Amen. Put it out there.
You could be in them episodes, girl. What you talking about? I love it.
All right, guys. Well, we got to get rolling.
Every day.
Oh man, we love you guys so much. Find us on Patreon, IG, and all the things. And until next time, mwah, goodbye.
Adios.
Peace.
Bye.